out to a mass amount of people. Yeah, we can do video over unicast, but it's about 100 times the data rate of a voice call. So it's actually important to try and find some way to get it out there cost effectively, and some combination of unicast and broadcast is really the best way to do that. So I talked about this thing with these smartbooks, which is essentially a smartphone built into a 10-inch display and a full-size keyboard. But it's really nice because it's working into what's going on the internet, where you see Office going as a web-based application. You see Google pushing Chrome and talking about applications coming off the web and being downloaded onto the device. So a device that you carry with you doesn't necessarily need to have all that memory on it. It's going to have a lot of processing power. It's going to have a great deal of memory, but you can also offload some of the computation and some of the memory storage and some of the connectivity and a lot of other things off into the cloud. So I think cloud computing coming together with wireless with these devices is really an important trend. Another place, we talk about where to invest. The thing that we're very interested in right now is this notion of bridging between the physical world and the digital world, that you have this device with you all the time that intermediates between the physical world where you're walking around and the things that you interact with, or sensors that might be embedded in the environment or on your body, and other kinds of services that might be provided to you out of the digital world. So, any number of these things are interesting, but let's choose advertising. So advertising, now you'll actually get it local. And it will be personalized. So one of the things that we'll be doing, for example, with the media flow system, is we'll actually be able to catch ads in the device and cache ads in the device that are important to you and important to the location that you're in. You think about things like location services relative to chat or relative to presence information. You're online all the time when you have a device. So now what's more important might be who's around me physically as opposed to who's online so I can talk to them. My friends will always be online. Now you start thinking about that, you combine that with an advertising service, and there's very interesting synergies that you can get by combining these notions of physical and digital. And one of the areas we're very interested in is augmented reality, which is, I don't have enough time to talk about it right now, so I won't hit on that, but it is an interesting, very interesting area. Another place that we think is interesting for investment are these kinds of markets. So user interfaces clearly come to the fore as almost the most critical determinant in somebody buying a phone. And so there's all sorts of sensors that are going into the devices. This InvenSense is a company we invested in that produces MEMS gyroscopes. And so that, we all know that this is important now for figuring out what orientation the phone's in and shaking it and playing games with it and all these other things. These kinds of devices are going in, but there's all sorts of other kinds of user interface things that you might be interested in. Healthcare is something that we're very interested in. The population in the developed market is aging. The doctors are aging at the same rate. They're going to be retiring at the time when they're most needed. So we believe that wireless attached to healthcare is really a critical way to improve productivity, improve people's wellness. We already have some things that have come out. There's a company called CardioNet that detects heart problems. It's already been shown in clinical trials to be 3 times more effective than the traditional way of detecting the heart problems, which was sitting in a hospital, not exercising your heart. So it makes a little bit of sense. Clearly a lot less expensive also. The person's not taking up a hospital bed. So healthcare is interesting. What we're looking for is wireless sensor technologies, non-invasive technologies. We're building links from the sensor, very low power links from the sensor to the phone and off to a gateway in the network. Very interesting work being done there. We've also set up an institute in San Diego. We got a $45 million donation from Gary West Foundation to set up an institute that actually takes things from the lab all the way through clinical trials and actually translation into practice. It's a partnership between us and Scripps Healthcare there. Another interesting area is looking at the emerging markets and what can you do with the guts of a phone that's got so much consumer electronics functionality built into it. So this Zebo concept, it's a gaming platform built on a phone. That's a phone inside. And why it's interesting for emerging markets is because traditional software publishers don't want to sell their software in the emerging markets because it's typically pirated. The consoles are generally too expensive. people don't have the connectivity. So this is like a Kindle model. When you buy the game on this, you pay for the wireless service at the same time. It's been launched in Brazil already, looking to expand into other emerging markets. Seems like a very interesting opportunity. So in the end, I would just say that our goal is really to try and build a wireless ecosystem. When we started, we worked with the operators, started working with the manufacturers. The number of manufacturers we're working with has grown as we've gotten into things like smart books. When we got into the content services, a lot of new companies came into the wireless space, getting into the financial services. Now the banks are getting involved. And now with this convergence of wireless and internet, all the web companies are getting involved. But I just left yesterday, we had a machine-to-machine summit, and there's tons of companies in various vertical markets that are interested in using wireless in order to create new opportunities for their businesses. So hopefully we have an opportunity to work with some of the companies that are in the room today. We're definitely here to help. We're definitely here to be an enabler. So with that, I thank you, and I think I have some time for question, although the counter is not counting. Do I have time for questions? I don't have any time for questions. They're giving me the phone. So thanks everybody for listening.